Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Friday Numbers. I hope I can get it uploaded today. If not, it'll be coming up on Saturday. But it's Friday right now. I'm over here in Schulenburg, Texas, at the Pilot. Here we go. This is for the week 10/5/17. Average pay miles is 177, and total mile, deadhead and everything, is 134 for the week. Pay miles was 1,477, kind of a shortish week. Still made a little money. Total miles 1,896. Deadhead was 419 miles for the week. Load 1 paid $1.61 per mile, 480 miles, 41,996 pounds, $772.32. Load 2 was $1.83 per mile, 573 miles, 38,816 pounds, $1,047.99. Load 3 was $1.37 per mile, 424 miles, 10,618 pounds, $582.30. Load 4 canceled on me, which it was close to the house. They gave me a VNU. I went home. $150. Now, our fuel, we had two fuelings. One of them was $350 for 126 gallons. The other one was $325 for 120 gallons. So $713.99 and 247.276 gallons. Divide that out, that's 275 average. Keep in mind, that's before I get my fuel discount. Alright, total we pulled 91,430 pounds that week. I kept it kind of light, because I only had 3 loads. If I had that on 5 or 6 loads, that'd be nice. Alright, so total revenue was $2552.61. Subtract the $713.99, that gives you $1838.62. Then you subtract the $800 for the fixed expenses, and that leaves us a $1,038.62 check. Now, that was an okay week. The miles were down low. I didn't have to work so hard. I had things to do that week. I have things to do every week, but that's the way I have to run my life, because this truck don't run my life. My life is set up to where I get home and I really enjoy my job and I enjoy my family. I wish I could be home even more, and one day I will, whenever that is down from 800 to 200, because that truck note will be gone. That's what we all have to live for out here. That day that truck note is over. That's right. Now, I promised y'all something a little different. I'm going to try to set this up for you and let you see what I've done. I'm not real sure how it's going to help me, except other than just a visual aid, but I thought it was kind of neat to do anyway. Alright, y'all ready? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. I made a graph, like I said, a visual aid. Let me pick it up closer to the phone. Now you can see I have 3 sections here. Let's look at the top one. This is for 6 weeks, 8/31 through 10/5/17. Alright, now that blue line there is the net, the black line is the gross. I set it up in $400 intervals. It's hard to get it situated where I can. Let's see here. Should have figured it out a little bit better ahead of time, but let's see. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better, don't you think? Now we can kind of go through it. Alright, so we have our net and our gross. So this is what I actually got paid down here. That's the green line. Now I can see it better. This is what I actually got paid each week. And this is what my total revenue was each week. Now what you want is those expenses down and that net up. My best week was this one right here. Let me go down here and I can see which week it was. 9/21/17. 9/21/17 was my best week right there. See, I had 58.5% expense, 67.5% expense, 53, 50. When I had 50% expenses, that was a decent check. $1,700, might as well say. And then this one was the next one. It was 53% expenses. So managing those expenses really makes a huge difference in what you actually get paid. So over here, I did a couple totals. That was the total gross and your total net. So we had $18,341 in expenses for 6 weeks. I mean total revenue for 6 weeks. So that's $7,777 that I actually got paid per week. I mean for 6 weeks. That averaged out to $1,296 per week for my pay and $3,056 per week for my total revenue. That ain't too bad if you ask me. What do I know? I mean, I'm thinking that I'm doing better this month in October now than I have done all year. It's been a pretty good month so far, and it ain't looking like it's going to slow down. Alright, next little graph I made, visual aid I guess you could say, is deadhead compared to pay miles. I did it in 200-mile intervals. Now, like I said, this week here was my best week. You see how close those deadhead miles are. Check it out. Alright. Let's see. 3,520 actual miles compared to 2,390 pay miles. Now see, the actual miles, what I do is I take a hub at the beginning of the week and a hub at the end of the week, and that's the actual miles. I mean, I include everything in my actual mileage, and my pay miles is what's actually on the load when I assign it. That's what Green Bay is actually paying me to run that load, the actual miles. Now, the distance between the deadhead and the pay miles on that week, if you come back up here and look, I had 3,423 expense total revenue and only $1,418. That's $2,000 worth of expenses. But still, I had a huge deadhead, 68%. See there, 68%. That's a huge amount of deadhead. I mean, wait. That's not deadhead. 32% deadhead, 68% pay miles. But my best week over here, I had 15% deadhead and 85%. It's hard to do this because I'm looking at it through the camera. So over here you had a 15% deadhead on my best week with an 85% pay miles. 365 actual deadhead miles that week. So that's the lowest deadhead I had, and that was my best paying week. I made $1,688. If you manage your deadhead and your expenses, which your deadhead is nothing but a solid expense, there it is laid out on paper. Y'all can take a screenshot and look at it a little bit better. All right, my next little graph down here is fuel. I did it in 50-gallon intervals. That dang marker ain't doing me much good, is it, y'all? All right, so 499 gallons 1 week, 397, 394, 326, 411, and 247. My best week, 326 gallons. That was a big dip in fuel there, because that week I had a total of 2,500 miles. So that was 15% deadhead that week. Most of that was money on the back. And it was 326 gallons. And for 2,500 miles, that ain't too bad. Now, the most that I spent on fuel was this week here, 831. 499 gallons. I went 3,500 miles that week. And I still only brought home 1418. I went 1,000 extra miles and made $270 less than I did over here. See, that's the actual mileage, and that is the actual mileage this week. That is that pay that week, and this is that pay. See, that's a lot of difference. Close them gaps, folks. Close them gaps. You want these lines running close together. You want your expenses at 50% or less. I don't know if I'm gonna do this anymore, but I did this. I've had this a few weeks, y'all, because I keep these behind so that I'll have time to think about what I want to do with the information. And this is pretty good idea to play around with your graphs. I'm gonna play around some with the weights and things like that, but this was just me playing at home with my graph paper, sitting there talking to the wife at the table. We had a pretty good night that night, just sitting there talking, even though we didn't have a whole lot of time because I had to get back on the road. Now, my next best week was 1505 right here. Still drove 350 more miles than I did that week. Had a pretty big gap there in the deadhead percentage. Was up to 33% deadhead, 67% pay miles, 952 miles was my deadhead. But here's the deal, y'all. If you can't find loads, you got to keep running every day. You know, you try to keep that deadhead down, but not at the cost of sitting. If you sit 2 days and don't get no revenue on your truck, the numbers is just not going to add up for you. With this program, you have to deadhead sometimes to find the revenue to put on your truck. Like I said, that's 831, 917, 914, 921, 928, 10/5/17. This is 6 weeks laid out for you on a graph, and this is on our little program. I had 32% deadhead, 22%, 33%, 15%, 20%, and 22%. Expenses was 58.5%, 67.5%, 53%, 50%, 60.5%, and 58%. I made 1418, 891, 1505, 1688, 1198, and 1077. A total of $7,777 for 6 weeks. That's an average of $1,296 per week. Total revenue was an average of $3,056 per week. God bless. Keep it between the ditches, friends.